Alrighty, let me come on in, guys. Come on in. So I know how my crowd comes in, so they just kind of probably if they need to hit the playback, they'll hit the playback.
There you go.
So guys, this is introducing Chris Enlightened. If you don't know who he is he's a dope metaphysician. You know, we out here winning. Go to his channel. I was put on to his channel a while ago by a good friend, but I had come across his channel before. But his channel is going to bring you a lot of light. So I thank you. Go over to buy his book. Divination is pinned down in the messages and comments. There you go. And he was one of the people that taught me the science of gratitude. So that's what this live is tonight. The science of gratitude. We're gonna get into it and how it can help and change your life. I'm gonna ask Chris some questions, and if he has anything to ask me, we go back and forth. So how did becoming a giver and gratitude impact your life, Chris, and especially with consistency?
As far as how did it impact my life, it literally changed my life. Back in the day, I come from humble beginnings, what most people would call the hood, and no one was really giving gratitude because there wasn't really anything tangible around for people to give gratitude for. So when I wasn't giving gratitude in my early stages of my life, I noticed that I was like embracing pessimistic thinking, poverty consciousness, and I just didn't have any sense of spiritual awareness about myself. I wasn't a co-creator of reality. Whatever
Mm,
came my way, I just dealt with the way that I thought I could. But as I became a man and started raising my daughter and getting married and just growing spiritually, I started to embrace gratitude in my life, and I noticed the trajectory of my life changed by embracing gratitude and just completely giving thanks for everything and anything. I started to be a co-creator of my reality. I started to have an overview of my life because when you're not giving gratitude, you're wondering why is this
yeah.
happening to me? But when you have gratitude, you take ownership of what it is that's coming your way and giving thanks for it, whether it's favorable or unfavorable. And it helps you to move on from that situation and no longer anchor negative or unfavorable situations in your life. But the biggest thing about the gratitude is it creates like it increases your dopamine levels. It makes you feel good. You live longer
Mm,
when you're happy. If you love living and you want to live long, it's good to be happy. And gratitude is a state of mental being. A lot of people say, I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for that. That's more of an emotion. Gratitude is taking everything in, the good and bad, and giving thanks for it because you know it's in alignment with your greater good. So that's just a little small smidget of how being grateful and having gratitude has changed my
hmm
life.
That's amazing. That's powerful right there. That's real powerful. And it was really your channel, the Enlightened Journey, and also Bro Yosef. He had went on. He did a brother. He was on Brother Rich's channel,
Okay.
and they were talking about gratitude and stuff, the science of gratitude, and I was blown away because me being an alchemist and different things, I know how to use, take things, take what I need, and utilize, what's necessary. And I'm like,
Mhm.
man, but I really got into it. I'm like, man, this gratitude is just something that's just so simple
It
because
is.
you start to see like, I think I'm, taking for granted the small things in life. You
And
know,
it's free. It doesn't cost you
yeah,
anything.
exactly.
I'm a big fan of doing the free stuff to help you evolve first. A lot of people want to take the shortcut and pay for all this stuff, and they're not doing the basic human basic things. If What's the sense of you paying for all these readings, buying all these courses, and you can't even control your own guttural language? You can't stop cursing. You can't give thanks. You can't tell people, hey, you can't make anyone around you feel good because you have gratitude. If you can't do that, all the other stuff isn't going to work. It's always good to do the base level stuff first and then evolve to the other things. But you can't try to go to the top and try to fill the rest in. But when you have gratitude, you instinctively, you automatically put yourself up to the top because it's a high vibratory emotion and a high vibratory state of being for me, you know?
Mm. And with gratitude being one of the highest vibrations out there, like, it's just the way that you can even take it back to the science of the body and
Yeah.
how, like, here, this book right here, Montauk Chia, the Chide saying, good
Mm,
one. He breaks down a lot of different things. You could do a lot of different methods, but the main thing I liked about it is how he goes over in this book and the other book the six healing sounds.
hmm
And so, learning about the organs, it teaches you that they have a sound and they harbor emotions and feelings. So, one of the things we can do just by having gratitude will increase the vitality of our organs, getting them balanced. And, like the heart can harbor either love or hate. So,
hmm
getting it on, the opposite side after you've been, somewhere, just something so simple as giving thanks and having a routine. I've seen it how it's been working in my life, how I've been, doing it more consciously, and
hmm
just more of an more experimenting with life, in that aspect, and just what do I got to lose? Just be grateful for 30 days in your life, just consciously, over that a period of a month or two, and just see what happens for you. And it's crazy because once you start to give gratitude, you start to want to give more.
hmm
And that's one thing I noticed. One thing I noticed, free stuff just comes out of nowhere. Like I had ordered some sea moss from my shop,
hmm
and I'm like, stocking inventory and stuff, and just crazy out of nowhere, they doubled up the package. It's the little things like that. It's like I didn't order this, but it's the same. It was just an extra 4 ounce dry sea moss
hmm
that I use for making gel and stuff. But it's little stuff like that. It's like I don't do it for that reason, but it's just like when you do that, you'll notice like life gets better in that aspect as well. So you're not asking why, how, like you said before.
hmm
You,
Come up
you give
free.
thanks like hell yeah, or something that you're
Right.
like I like this. But what I've seen is, it, you know, it's something you can use to power things up as well.
Mm,
You know, you can power like Bro also something you can was talking about. You can power up, your tools that you use.
hmm
You know, you say you're doing altar work, you can, you know, as you're pouring libations, really just give thank, get something real big and just start going at it with gratitude. I've noticed a spark in my life doing that. It's many different things you can use it for. I use it for in many different facets, but it's very very powerful because it's tapping into the emotion of something and the feeling of something.
hmm
Very powerful, and utilizing it in multiple areas of your life, but understanding the science behind it too.
You can only go so far with human effort. You can only go so far with human effort. But when you tap into the rich reservoir of gratitude, it creates different impetus and momentum in your life. You have like this spiritual fervor where things just tend to go your way. One thing about gratitude that I love is nothing exists until you focus on it. And the more you give gratitude, the more you have
Hmm.
opportunity to be grateful for more things. It's weird how that wave hits you. In the beginning, if you're a pessimistic thinker, you can't seem to get right, things aren't going your way. In the beginning, it's going to feel a little challenging. But your challenges help you evolve. But if you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. So I'm imploring people watching this video now, in the future, or in the past, start trying to give gratitude. I mean, I don't care when you wake up in the morning, just start giving thanks. The way you brush your teeth in the morning and take a shower and wash yourself, it's routine. And over time, as a child, at adolescence, a grown man, it eventually becomes you. So now
Hmm.
I've given gratitude so much, I'm always in a state of gratitude. And I look at gratitude as cutting on the light. And when you're always in a state of gratitude, you're increasing more light within yourself. You're either attracting particles of light or particles of darkness in your life. And it all stems from your thoughts. And your thoughts create your speech, and your speech dictates what happens to you in this earthly domain. So I've never met anyone who was talking nice, feeling good, and they were always attracting bad. But I've seen a lot of people who are thinking negative, speaking negative, and choosing to ingest negativity that are doing negative, who are doing bad. And that's because of the detritus that's hid under the surface and the foliage or the sediment of negativity. And one thing about light is light procreates. When I have light, I give light to you. It builds and it grows and it keeps birthing itself into other people. The same thing with negativity.
Hmm.
If you willingly accept someone calling you all the time, dumping jumpster juice in your ears, they're going to be cool because they've released all that negativity on you, and you have that in your consciousness still. So one thing about me, I tell you one time, don't be cursing around me. Don't tell me no bad news, because if you do, when you reach out to me, I won't answer again. It's just simple as that.
Okay, that's powerful.
And that's
That's
gratitude. I give
Yeah,
thanks. I give thanks for it.
that's just basically tapping into using vibration and frequency. You want to keep a certain frequency, a certain vibration around you. So I totally understand that. That's exactly how you tap into it, how you control that aspect of your own universe,
Right.
your own world. Through
Hmm.
using those laws. It's a very funny thing. Is because you could be going through something, but if you just like whip your notebook out, I employ, I hope everybody, get a notebook, a pen, and just every day for 5 minutes, you just, when you wake up or right when you go to sleep, because you can program your sleep by that, give thanks for things that, haven't even come to pass yet in the physical, but that's, just having faith, you know?
You know, your dreams are an extension of your waking state, and your waking state is an extension of your dreams. So if you're going to bed and you're not really in tune with yourself, if you're going to bed thinking negative, more than likely you might have a nightmare or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go to bed giving thanks, you may wake up in the primordial worlds because you're raising your vibration when you go out, when you leave your body. You know what I'm saying? And whenever
Mm-hmm.
you leave your body, wherever you were at physically magnetize or magnifies. So it's always good before you go to bed. Don't just fall out, fall asleep. You want to go to sleep. You want to go to sleep with good intentions. And when you wake up, you might not remember your dream, but a little bit of that positive resonance bleed over in your waking state, and more than likely you'll have a good day. Because again, your waking state is a continuation of your dream state, and vice versa. The
Yeah,
same
that's
way
powerful.
we use, the same way we use these cymatic tones or these guttural words, and you say something to someone and makes them smile. I mean, that's not an easy thing to do. But a lot of time when people are around you and you haven't said anything and they just feel good and they just want to touch you and they're smiling, it's because your light is so infectious that the
Hmm.
human self can't do anything but smile. You know?
Yeah, you know that's wild, because it's the simple things. Like when we go on this path, we think it's just the most complicated ritual that we got to do, to reach this point of happiness, and it's really just giving thanks for the things around us.
Hmm.
Because sometimes, like you said, when people's life starts to go a certain type of way, sometimes that's trying to teach us to have gratitude.
Hmm.
Trying to wake us up, to that level. And as you said, for the dreams, one thing that I love to do, I love to program my dreams. I love to sleep program.
Hmm.
So sometimes, like I make my own affirmation meditations, and I'll, have it playing throughout the night while I sleep, programming the intentions for the next day. So, I can really attest to that. Like it's really powerful,
You know,
especially manifesting things, because a lot of the times when we're awake, the conscious mind can reject certain things, but this is why repetition is key, because you'll bog it down after a while. But when you're asleep, you don't have to worry about that.
right.
You go
You know,
straight, you go straight there.
You know, in my book, Wealth Consciousness, I talked about the hypnagogic state. And the hypnagogic state is the state between your consciousness and your subconscious mind merging together. And
Mm,
when you're in your dream state or your hypnagogic state, like between 15 to 20, 30 minutes before you fall out, your subconscious mind opens up and it takes in everything without the filter of the ego. So if you're listening to positive affirmations, binaural beats, anything that's raising your consciousness and the way you think, it's really going to have a strong impact when you come back to this earthly reality and start being you again. So it's very important to do little things like that to tweak who you are, to like dissolve all your negative programming. Most people, if you don't have enlightened parents, it's kind of challenging to embrace a life, a spiritual life, because you embrace herding consciousness. You do
hmm
what your mama did, grandmama did, your mama did, your brothers and sisters did, because you're not strong enough to stand on your spiritual self and do what you came here to do. But as you become aware of, like, man, I'm a spiritual being and I'm a commander of my reality, then you can go out and embrace being the unicorn of your family. I don't want to say the black sheep because it kind of has a negative connotation.
hmm
Unicorn, because the unicorns are powerful. They're mystical beings, or the dragon of your family. You know what I'm saying? So one thing about rituals that I don't really implore a lot of people to do at the beginning on their spiritual path, because you're not really strong enough and you do something for a month and you don't get the turnout that you think, and you feel depleted. You feel like, oh, I'm a loser or something like that. So it's always good to create your own rituals and
Yeah,
just and write down what works for you, because what works for me may not work for you right now. It may work for you later on, but it may not work for you now. So
exactly.
I'm a big fan of creating your own rituals, being your own guru, because no one know what you need more than you. It's
Exactly.
okay. It's okay to listen to other people, but when you embrace gratitude, you give thanks for where you are. You give thanks for whatever comes your way. You're not going to be reaching out to other people to tell you what's next for you, because when you have gratitude, you already know in advance that whatever's coming, it's in alignment with my greater good, and I give thanks in advance. You
Mm,
know, I'm gonna tell you something about gratitude. And I'm not saying that you should do this or anyone should do this, but I did it for myself. I'll say about 7 years ago, I just quit my job. Like, you know what? I'm out. I was making decent money. I thought I was doing great, but I felt as if I was at the cap of where I was at. So I quit my job about a year, didn't have no income coming in, just living off my savings. And I had the best year of my life. I had the best year of my life, giving thanks, traveling, going to spiritual seminars, hanging out with my Tabro family, buying tablets and spiritual tools and all type of stuff. And then when it was time for me to go to work, I was like, you know what? You know what? Me, I always talk to my higher self, the creator, then my higher self. I always talk to my higher self. I say, I already know you got something great for me. I give thanks in advance. And the job came and found me. And I've been winning ever since. My wife did it, my daughter did it, I did it. We always do things together, because I don't know any other two powerful people in my life or in the world like my daughter and wife. You know what I'm saying? I
mm.
treated them all before I came here, and I give thanks every day for them. I put my wife, my daughter, my mama in my prayers every day. I give thanks for them, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's
Give,
powerful.
give thanks for the little things and make it habitual until it becomes you.
Mm. Just that consistency, just over and over and over. So I got a question. How? So do you see ancestor work and ancestor veneration as a form of gratitude, especially for the bloodline?
I do, because one thing about your negative financial karma and all the negative things that happens to you that's bequeathed through your family bloodline, when you dissolve your ancestors' negative financial karma, you in turn dissolve your negative financial karma. And by you giving saying these divine prayers, burning ancestor money, giving light to your ancestors, just simply thinking about them in a high way, it's going to help them evolve. And in turn, your whole family is going to evolve as well. I'll
Mm.
say about 90% of my family is from the hood. There's not many of us left in the hood now. Why? Because I accept being the ambassador of my family. I don't go around telling my family that's doing amazing now, hey, I helped you guys win, because all my ancestral practices help open up doors of opportunity for my bloodline, not just me. And
Yeah.
you're winning when you're able to relieve suffering in other people's lives. A lot of people want to be the winner. It ain't about that. It's about the people you love, the people your surroundings winner. That's a real ambassador of the family. You're going to win vicariously through everyone else's wins. And it's not always about you. I mean, it's cool to be a winner, but winning starts before you even begin. If you don't feel like a winner, winning is not going to be hiding around a corner or anything like that. There is no race. The choice is yours. You can either be a winner or you can be a wanner or a loser. I like to be a doer and a winner. And winning isn't always about the act of doing something. Sometimes winning is just chilling. I took a year off of making videos just to see what my audience, the pulse of my audience. And I've had hundreds of people reach out to me, ask me for advice, and anything about me. If I don't have to be in your face physically, cyberly, or remotely, I'll give it to you. I'm that dude like that. You reached out to me on Instagram, was like, "Hey, Chris Enlightened, I want to get up with you." I said, "All right, let's talk."
For real.
Just like that. Because we got to get away from charging everybody all the time. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay to charge. I'm not saying it's not. But what I'm saying, when it comes to like love and light and just helping your fellow brother and sister grow, get out of the way, man. Get out of the way. When you have gratitude, you embracing wealth consciousness. And I get paid more in blessings than I do in fiat currency. So whether you pay me with cash money or crypto or whatever, Cash App, I don't care about that. I want the blessings. You know what I'm saying? Because when you give me money, the deal is done. But when I take a blessing, I don't know what the magnitude of that is. And I give thanks that I have the ability to cash in on all the help and light that I've given to the world. Not claim my divinity. I asked for it. I say, you know what? I helped about 1,000 people this month. I want to cash in on some of those blessings. Winning! And things just start coming my way.
Hell, oh my! So that's like commanding things to your will.
Yes.
Bringing. Oh, I see.
I'd rather you be a doer more than a prayer. Prayer is good. Saying divine prayers is amazing because they've changed my life. But if you're saying all these divine prayers and you're not doing anything, the doer is going to beat you every time. The doer, the person out there doing it, is going to beat you every time. So it's more important to do than anything.
I feel you. Just the action, because we're in the realm of feeling. So like when we do or we act as if, we connect, the body with the mind.
Mm.
And in that fact, in the astral form.
Yes. Yes.
So that's pretty important, because the astral form holds those manifestations. So that's like when we're why they say like be in the now moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that being in the now moment, our astral form can hook to us, and bring us whatever is there, or we have that connection. When we're not, it's kind of like all over the place, or sporadic. So that's very powerful.
One thing about me, I like to create my own reality in my mind. I like to create untangible things in my mind and make them work for me physically. And in the beginning, it's not going to work that good, but the more you tweak it, the more you play with it, the stronger you get. So, like, I'm a co-creator. I just command things to happen, and they do. It take a little time, but in my mind, it's real time. But physically, it takes time. Because time only exists in our earthly domain. We live in and dead at the same time. I think that we've already done everything we're going to do, but we're physically catching up to those spiritual actions that we've already done.
Yeah, it's like a lag.
It's like a lag, but you can still tweak the lag, or you can allow the program of our earthly domain to manipulate your lag. So do you want to be a person pulling the strings, or do you want your strings being pulled? That's how I look at life. I'm a string.
Pull your own strings, create your own vision, or you're gonna be living someone else's vision. Like I would say, program your own mind, or your mind will be programmed for you.
Exactly. And that's one reason why I don't get readings from anybody. Everyone around the world, hey, I want to give you a reading. I don't want your reading. Well, I need your reading for when I can create my own book. So what I do is this. What I understand is when someone's giving you a reading, they're tapping into one of the infinite streams of reality that could be a possibility for you. And it might not be for you, but it is for another aspect of yourself. And they're just seeing one stream, maybe two or three. But how about you create the stream you want to be on and live through that? If someone's
Mm,
something's bad is going to happen, you're going to be looking for this bad thing to happen, and you're going to create that bad thing to happen. But when you only see good happening, you're going to create a stream of good. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of people are tying their karma with other people's karma because they're saying, hey, man, you do this, you do that, you'll win. And again, in some cases it will, but I'm imploring people to be their own guru, be their own reader, and whatever you get, just have strength and confidence in yourself that is right for you. That creates the doer or the Debo consciousness that you need to win out here in life. No one's going to give you anything. No one, no one. Life isn't easy. It's challenging. It's not as hard as you. I can outsuffer most people, but going through extreme challenges like that made me a humble person. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
So being humble is cool, but you have to have a little bit of dog in you too. Being
Yeah.
great, being grateful for the winning, loving energy, but also being grateful for the dog too.
Yeah.
You gotta know when to pull it out. Me,
hmm
I just choose not to go in arenas where the dog needs to bark.
Yeah. Because you
So
put yourself, setting yourself up, basically, cause and effect.
cause and
So,
effect.
so basically, like what you were saying, choosing the reality. It's like when Doctor Strange
Mm,
was trying to find all those possibilities in the Avengers to
yes,
see where they won, but instead of looking for the possibilities, you just created.
that's
That's
it.
what you, okay.
That's it. You create it.
And like you said, you do so in the mind, and then try to
All
try
is
to.
mind, all is mind, and mind is all. It's just
Hmm,
as simple as that. Once you really start tapping into the universal laws like that, just pick one and rock with that for about 3, 4 months. See how it worked for you. Then pick up the next one.
yeah, that's how I actually. That's one of the ways I got in. Was through the Emerald tablets and the Kabbalion. It's
Mm,
one of my favorites. Got the Black Sanitary edition somewhere in here, but
hmm
man, that one alone, it I don't know. It's crazy because when you think about it, all of they reference them as universal principles, and it just taught me the difference between principle and law,
Yeah,
and how a lot of these laws come from these principles.
yeah.
And
Man,
so,
I'm sorry, brother.
oh, it's just like teaching me just how to use them.
hmm
What I can really tap into.
hmm There's certain things that won't unlock in you until you're worthy of having them unlock. And it's challenging to unlock all this whimsicalness within you when you don't see whimsicalness in your life. It's kind of hard to unlock divinity and love within you if you're not willing to give it to other people. So one of the keys to my success is being okay with giving to other people because I already realized though my world is always going to correspond to my actions. So if you want wealth, you got to give away wealth. You want love, you got to give love. And then not just the people you love, everyone you come in contact with is an aspect of your consciousness. A lot of times you see someone negative, it's not that you're in a bad day or you're having bad luck. It's just another aspect of you, and you're challenging yourself to see how far you've evolved from it. If someone like I'll say someone gave me the finger the other day in driving, they almost hit my car and I honked at them, not disrespectful, just so it wouldn't be a wreck. And they gave me the middle finger. The old me would have would have reacted in a negative way. But the new me laughed like, wow, they gave a finger to a god. I look at myself as someone that's emitting light wherever I go. And they just killed their blessings for I don't know how long because they disrespected a God. And I still wish them well. I felt a little bad for them, but I wish them well. And that's just a testament of how far I've come. And then I got blessings. Whenever you overcome a challenge, you always get a blessing. Whether people do me good or unfavorable, I always begin and end with love because I can't allow someone with a low vibratory consciousness affect my Debo consciousness. You know, nothing against anyone who's homeless or what I would call a bum or something like that. But I don't see the need to be mad at a bum for choosing that bum life. So when someone's showing me negativity, I'm not going to change my character to meet where they are. I'm always walking around with astute consciousness out here because I give thanks for it. It's who I am now. I'm not going to go back to the old me because the old me wasn't winning like I'm winning now. Beautiful wife, beautiful daughter, beautiful life. Things just tend to go my way. I go out to eat. I always get a good spot. Food's always delicious. People who are good always seem to find me. There's a spiritual neural network that's like a spiritual internet. And when you choose to walk on that light path, you just keep running into other people that are on the same path. But when you always find yourself around negativity, pestilence, and things like that, that's a reflection of what's going on within your consciousness. You need to spiritually check yourself. You know what I'm saying? And the
Mm.
best way to spiritually check yourself is by having gratitude. I give thanks that I was feeling so bad that it's forced me to want to do good. I got the message. I'm just going to start giving thanks every day. And one thing about negative people is this, family. When you tell someone negative to give thanks, they're going to fight for their limitations and they're going to get to keep them. Hey, man, stop cursing. Oh, I can't stop cursing. It's just a word. So, one thing that I do now is no longer implore people to do things. I give my advice. I share how I've evolved from doing them, and they can run with it or not. Maybe they need to come back another time and get it right. The same way you and I came here to win, a lot of people come here to lose. So when you see someone choosing to embrace a life of losing, leave them where they are and give thanks that that's no longer you because you may have been them in another life. And all you're seeing is a reflection of who you used to be to help you have more gratitude for how far you've come now. You know what I mean? So whenever you see someone negative, whenever someone's doing you wrong, you want to smile. I give thanks that that's no longer me. When they'll look at you like you're crazy, and it will make them even more mad. One thing about negativity and negative people is it needs negativity to sustain itself. This is a world of life. This is like a heaven on earth if you choose to embrace it. But if you're around negativity, you have the power to create a subspace domain bubble of love in a world of pestilence. In the world of pestilence, you can see out in your bubble everybody's suffering and you smiling and winning.
Mm.
But don't think that money dictates your joy. The only people who think money will make them happy and win is those who never had money. If you're not happy without money, when you get money, you're going to have more opportunity to destroy yourself.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. So finding that within self while balancing it with the outside world as well, it's always key. So I got one more question. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the power of just like well, I think we did, but like touch more on the power of giving gratitude for things, like in the form of manifestation and things that are not here yet, but you still keep the vision.
hmm Well, one thing about gratitude is the foundation of gratitude is joy. And you can't be in a state of gratitude and you're feeling bad. So if you're feeling bad, if you start just giving thanks for the little things you have, that negativity is going to run away from you. Negativity and gratitude can't share the same space. So the power of joy is the igniter to whatever it is you want in life. I don't care. I remember when you were younger in school, you met some girl, you was like, man, she's fine. Oh my God. I'm so happy around her. And that
Uh-huh.
energy attracted her to you. The energy of joy is the conductor to your success.
Mm.
I don't know anyone who accidentally became a millionaire. It's the joy. I know I'm going to do it. I give thanks in advance. Woo, out here winning. I always use money as an example because everyone can relate with that.
Hmm.
Everyone knows how good it feels to have it. But the same feeling you have for money, equate that to the love for your woman and your children and your parents, because it's going to convey without using the words. You don't have to use a guttural tone, no cymatic tone. Just feeling it, it's going to pulse. It's going to like shroud them with love, and it's going to make them smile, and you just build more joy in life. You know what I'm saying? So joy is the biggest thing you could have, family. Joy. If you don't have joy, you're not really living. And tangible things shouldn't dictate your joy. It should enhance them, but it shouldn't dictate it. The things you get is a byproduct of your joy.
Hold
You
on. Okay, you're good now. I think it kind of glitched out for a second.
Oh, okay. I
You're
said,
good.
well, the last thing I said that the things you acquire, the things you have, is a byproduct of your joy.
Yeah, it just came to heighten it. Just like the term happier versus happy. Like you like I make myself happy, but these other things make it happier.
Yeah,
Add
happier,
on to it.
happier. The one thing about money is this: when you have it, you think you feel good, but when you lose it, you start feeling bad. So if money dictates your emotions, you're not winning with money. There are some people who have money and they're still miserable. They're still mad. Why? Because they have money, but it's not working for them. There are some people that don't have anything and they're the sweetest souls on earth. Why? Because they have joy. They don't need money. Me personally, I choose to have wealth because I feel as if we've lived long enough. I, we've had enough broke spiritual teachers out there. And
Yeah,
the only way to get these youth out here winning financially and embracing life of spirituality is to show them how successful you can be, you know?
mm,
And that's my thing. I like to show the people, like, hey, man, you can be out here winning. I'm not a millionaire yet, by no means, but I feel so wealthy because
that's where
wealth
it
has
start
many
feeling.
facets. Wealth has money is the last thing about wealth. Wealth is being wealthy in love, health, emotion, gratitude, everything. You got a place to stay, you're eating. You got most people around the world will never even watch a TV in their life, have a cell phone. If you're living in America, if you're able to watch this video, you shouldn't be complaining about it. You shouldn't be complaining about anything because I guarantee you the little bit of things, let's say you got 10 things to complain about. You can look outside your window and see a million things to be excited for. So why are you always focused on the negative stuff? The negative stuff isn't going nowhere, but the way to dissolve the negative stuff is by focusing more on the light because nothing exists until you focus on it.
Yeah,
Nothing exists
exactly.
on it.
When you focus on it, it'll you feed that energy into it directly, and
Hmm.
then it'll collapse with
Yeah,
that set amount of energy. So
yeah.
if you need a little bit of energy, it'll go build off of that.
Hmm. And I think we've all mastered negativity. Let's start mastering the light. Let's
Yeah,
start mastering joy. You don't want to balance out your life. You don't want to be 50% dark and 50% light. You want to create a harmonious balance with what feels good for you. And what feels good for me is 90% positive and a little bit of darkness. You know, I like to watch a little ratchet TV. I
yeah,
need to feel on that a little bit. It makes me feel good because
exactly.
it's an aspect of where I used to be. There is no wrong and right. What makes you feel good is right for you. As
Mm,
long as it's not hurting anyone. If you're getting off on hurting people, you may be a dark soul. And that's still okay because we need dark souls. We need dark souls to teach us to be stronger with our light. The same way dark souls need light souls to implore them to be more dark. If you love the creator, you love all his creations.
yeah, exactly.
He just didn't make good people, he made bad people too. So you gotta love the bad folk. You ain't gotta rock with them, but you gotta love them. I give thanks for negative people.
It's all a part of the whole, all a part of the whole thing.
Whole
You
part of
know,
the whole thing.
that's the collective. we all together make up that one being, that one soul. So it's like hating a part of your soul.
That's it.
Well, I don't have any more questions right now. Anything you want to add to it?
You know me, man. One thing about me, I just want everyone to just start doing stuff and do stuff for the betterment of mankind. Whenever you do things for the betterment of mankind, you might not receive a lot of financial reward, but you're going to add light to your soul. And by adding light to your soul, you got these divine beings, the creators of our world, looking down on you. And it's like, look at this human. Look at all that light in that human. And they'll be more likely to help you. And the creators is you too. I talk to my
Mhm.
higher self like he my twin brother or my lost
Mm.
long cousin or something like that. And he guides me. You know what I'm saying? And the voice will sound like you. It's not going to sound like some other person. It's all going to be in your head. The same way you close your mouth and say your ABCs in your head, that same voice is going to sound like your higher self.
Okay.
You know? So it's not going to be like, Chris, I'm the creator. If someone's saying they're scheming you, if someone's saying, yeah, I talked to God, they scheming you. We have a
Mm.
non-intervening creator, gutturally. He talks to us through emotions and feelings. That's the same way everyone's born with an innate feeling of knowing how to do right and knowing what's wrong. You ever see a baby, you tell them don't do something, they look to see if you're looking. Like, he's looking. If they don't see you looking, they'll do it. Because they're
Yep.
learning themselves. No one teaches a baby how to lie. Hey, this is how
Nope.
you lie, little baby. Okay. They just know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm.
me, I've always like my daughter, she's never heard me raise my voice to my wife. She's never heard me cuss at my woman. She's never even heard us argue because in her world, that's a loving relationship. So now that she's with someone, she does the same because anything else is foreign to her. It doesn't exist to her because
Mm.
she's never seen it. But if I'd have been cussing at her mama, beating her mama, talking crazy, disrespecting and all her to my mama, her mama, when she got a boyfriend or a future husband, that would have been a part of her world and it would have been a possibility. And it would have been okay because mom and daddy dealt with it. So the best thing you can do is dissolve a lot of the negative things or the negative challenges in your bloodline by fixing them. You know what wasn't done for you? My father was never in my life. He never told me he loved me and meant it. He never gave me a birthday present, Christmas present, never even know one school or seen a report card. So me, I came here to make sure my daughter wouldn't experience that. I was at every event. I took her everywhere she needed to go. I told her I loved her, hugged her, showed her through her mama that I loved her. And to this day, we have an amazing relationship. You know what I'm saying? So your children are a reflection of all the work you've done. If
Mm.
you have
Yeah.
bad children, that means you was a bad parent. I don't care what nobody say. You got to fix things. You got to fix things, and you do it with joy. You do it with joy. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
you, when it comes to children, I know there's a lot of people probably watching us have children. A lot of parents, when they couldn't do what they wanted to do, they try to live vicariously through their children. Your children come here already knowing what they need to do. So, what I like to do when my daughter was younger, when she was a teenager, she would do stupid stuff. And I would say, you know what? I see why you did that, but this is what I would have done. And this is the outcome that may have happened. Next time, think about it this way. Don't just always down them. Force them to take ownership of their challenges and their issues. You know, force them to be a good person by you being a good person. I never told my daughter, hey, set up your ancestral altar. Hey, go out and buy spiritual tools. Go out there and do solar practices and get your son to blink. No. She seen me and her mom do it, and she was like, you know what? They're my parents. I want to go out there too. And she got her son to blink in like 3 months. It took me and her mom almost a year. But it existed to her. And she knew that we did it. My wife did it first. I did it second. So she knew she could do it because it exists to her, you know?
Hmm. So creating that environment, programming, getting that program in because you'd rather them have the program of, the parents than because society is already trying to poke us, head in anyway. So,
Right. Reprogram your programming. You ever heard of a GIGO? That's a technical term that I learned when I was programming in school.
no.
GIGO stands for garbage in and garbage out. So if you have some good stuff, you want to keep it in, but if it's bad, just throw it out and raise your child the way you need to raise them. My daughter went to school mainly for daycare. I taught my daughter myself, you know. When she
Mm,
came home and we ain't doing cursive no more, taught her how to do cursive. We don't know how to read an analog clock. I got the white plate, the yarn. I taught her how to do it. You cannot allow society to raise your child to be a winner because it won't work like that. Your children should go to school for daycare to learn social skills.
mm.
Anything that they really need to know, you better teach them, and you want to challenge them to be best, a winner. If everyone is doing something and it's not working, that means it doesn't work. So why would you allow your daughter to roll the dice to see if it works? Be
Exactly.
great. Be great. If everyone went to college and was successful at going to college, that means it works. But I know 80% of the people with a degree right now barely making it.
That's the
I'm not
sad
saying
thing.
degrees ain't bad. I'm just saying that program don't work no more. Not in the information age. Before there was like the internet and stuff like that, yeah, you probably had to go to college. But now you
Yeah.
can learn anything you want. But you gotta be a doer. You gotta be a go-getter. You gotta teach yourself. If you didn't have parents to teach you, teach yourself. When I was young, I didn't like the way I sounded because I was from the hood. I had that, what I'm saying, was saying.
Yeah.
That's how we talk. That's how we communicated. But when I started to go to schools in different neighborhoods, thank God for my mom for seeing that I was an intelligent kid and needed to go not school abroad, but in other areas.
Hmm.
And I would come back to my area. I was like, wait a minute, this ain't it. And I was trying to get my brothers to see this, and they just couldn't see it because they hadn't chose to evolve past the need to suffer. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. So that's powerful. I think on that note, like I don't have any more questions, but I guess I could say to wrap it all up, gratitude is guys, is a very, very powerful tool. And to me, it's not just about giving, gratitude, giving thanks, but it's about understanding what it is, how it can work in your life, and being able to apply it all over your life in multiple ways. Like be creative. Like I bring it into my practice of libations, because I found out about libations through Bobby Hemmett. I studied that science. I tweaked it. I understand it on a very, very deep occult metaphysical level. So then I brought it to the altar practice. So then there'd be a day where I, give gratitude and pour libations at the same time for just things that I'm creating. The same way I can, say ashe to, my ancestors. I do it this way. It's like, just different stuff.
Yeah.
And it works, because it's coming from a really, it's coming from what my particular heart. So just, one thing is, center your practice of gratitude in your heart.
Water is one of the second highest form of consciousness in our earthly domain. First is the sun, and
Mm,
then there's water. So the same water that your ancient ancestors was drinking and urinating out, you're drinking and urinating it out too. So one thing that I'll implore myself to do is this. I don't care what it is. Just know that you're winning. Just know that whatever you're doing, you're going to be great at it. Whether society says you ain't good or not, it's all on you because you're the only person that matters. No, you don't. I don't want you guys to think that you need other people to verify you or certify you in anything. You want to be a great numerologist, certify yourself. You want to be a great astrologist, certify yourself. Because I don't care what you're doing, there's always going to be somebody better or worse than you. But all that matters is you. You come in alone, you're going to leave alone. So just do your thing while you're here, family. Time goes quick when you're allowing the universe to dictate what happens to you. There are a lot of people out here living life, it feels like 20 years because they're not focused on anything. They live in the same program. They put their right shoe on, they put their left shoe on, they go to work the same way every day. And there's currents of consciousness out here, financial consciousness currents too. And when you do different things happen to you. But when you embrace joy, you become like a magnet that attracts joy to you. So if you're doing anything with like good energy, I don't care what it is you're doing, you're gonna win. You can't help but win.
That's powerful. I'm just checking the chat out here, right here, but that's powerful right there. Like, and this is an untapped science. And when brother Yosef was going over it on brother Rich's channel, and I'm just like, man, because I was at a point in my life, I'm like, I really do need to give gratitude and have gratitude, just for my situation, you
Yeah.
know. And then I employed myself. I said, let's try this for a week, and for that whole week, I just, if I'm not writing it down, I'm pointing it out,
Hmm.
just finding things to be grateful for, just on purpose, and it really did something for me.
Yeah.
It like really changed I could say my molecular structure,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
already. So I'm gonna just keep going. I know the power of it, and it's one of the most powerful things here. You might as well get into it.
You know me, I know that joy reconstructed the tapestry of my reality. It helps weave new possibilities where there were not. But when you guys embrace joy in your life, everybody in the chat, everybody listening to this, try it out. Try to stop cursing, limit negative speech, negative thought, because when you align your thought with your speech and your actions, you're gonna win every time. Only time I've lost in life is when I was trying to do good, talking good, but thinking bad. When they're not in alignment, what you're aligning yourself with won't be in alignment with you. You just see it pass you by, other people winning around you. But winning starts before you begin, and you dictate what the win is for you. The biggest win is the art of doing. If you want to be like a god, you got to create something. It don't matter if it makes money. I don't care if you're doing origami. I started off doing origami. I don't tell a lot of people this, but I started off doing origami about 10 years ago. And I became an origami guru. I could make anything, all these geometrical shapes, dodecahedrons, you name it, I was doing it. And it
Mm,
taught me to be a creator. Then I started to write books. Then I started doing YouTube videos. Then I started day trading. I started investing because I became a doer. And the more you do, the more you have a need to do more. When you dissolve your need to fail, you can't help but win, family. You got to
mm.
dissolve your need to succeed. Your will to succeed needs to be stronger than your will to fail. I don't care what you read, what anyone tells you, how much you meditate. If your will to succeed isn't stronger than your will to fail, you're going to lose.
Every t- mm.
There's no secret sauce out here, family. There's no book that you're going to read. There's no nothing, no tool you can get to help you if you don't feel as if you're already powerful, family. Everything is a placebo. Everything on the spiritual path is a placebo. It only works when you think it works. Now,
Exa-
real spiritual tools work whether you believe they do or not, but you're not going to find them for cheap.
yeah.
You got to spend. Whenever you invest in your own spirituality, that's when the money starts coming because you get a return on it. Every dollar that I spent on something spiritual, I got way more back in return, family. So you want to ball out on yourself spiritually. You want to ball out. You don't want to ball out indefinitely, but you're going to go through phases. You're going to go through this learning phase where you're researching everything, learning everything. Once you learn everything, you think you learned everything. You want to tell everybody, yeah, do this, do this, do this. And then you're going to come to this phase where you're going to just be a doer. You'll be doing stuff, creating stuff. And then you're going to be
Hmm.
in my phase now. I don't even want to be around humans. I mean, I love y'all. I like to be alone. I like to be with people who love me. And, I'm 47, I'm about to be 48 in October. And I know I'm way past middle age because I plan on being like 100 and something, but I'm all about really enjoying my time. And if you're not talking love and light, I don't care about you. I don't want to be around you, any of that stuff. Family members, I don't care who old 20, 30-year-old friends, I don't care about any of that no more because I understand that where I'm going is not where someone who's negative is going. Because whenever you transition, whatever's going on in your consciousness is magnified. And your real power will take that jolt and send you places. So if you win it, you have all this spiritual momentum, you love and light, you've got all your light facets, you're going to go somewhere where light is. You've done a lot of wrong, a lot of bad stuff, a lot of crazy stuff. You've been manipulating people, using people. That energy is going to eat you up, and you're going to go a place where it needs to feed off you so you can get a feeling of what the things you've done. It's not going to be easy looking at your when they say judged, and it's not like, oh, you're going to be a bad person. You're judging yourself. You're judging yourself. But don't think that you've done a lot of bad things and there's no turnaround. You can always do some dharma, and dharma is nothing more than doing senseless acts of help for people without wanting anything in return. Buying people's food in the grocery store, the takeout line. If you go to drive-throughs, buying someone food, holding a door, asking the people, "How's your day? How's your day going?" Whether you feel it or not, just allow that to be habitual for you. Because every time you make someone smile, you're going to get a blessing, family. You're going to get a blessing every time you make someone smile. Sometimes I just walk around smiling at people. Hey, how you doing? Hey, you doing? They be like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? I call everybody brother. I don't care about your skin color. I'm more partial to my own race, of course, but I got white brothers out there that's winning too that I rock with. You know what I'm saying? Until we as humans get
Mm-hmm.
over the color, we won't evolve as a species. That whole mindset was ingrained in us. We got to get over that, family. You can't try to grow spiritually with hating your heart. It doesn't make sense. You can't evolve spiritually with hating your heart. When you can see the beauty in smelling feces, you're getting somewhere because you're going to realize that you're not going to always have a nose to embrace senses. And you want to give thanks for that funk.
Mm.
That's where I want you guys to start.
Oh, that was a good build. We've been on what 57 minutes, almost an hour. That was a good one.
Winning.
This was an amazing one. I just wanted to give Chris his flowers because his channel helped me out a lot. Go get his book Divination, y'all. It's
It's thick,
huge.
300
It's
pages.
a good one.
And it's a bunch of divinations around the world. And I'm breaking down how to use them, not just talking about them, how to use them. How to use them. Because a lot of people, when I was having my YouTube channel, everybody, well, I still have it, but when everybody was coming to me, how you do this, how you do this, how you do that, I was telling people that I was getting exhausted typing all these answers. But I created divination to implore people to become a doer. There's something in there for you to do, and it's not going to cost you a lot of money either. It's not going to be free, but a lot of this stuff you can just go out and get the tools, do it for 3 to 6 months, and see how it works for you. If not, turn the page and try something different. But I
That,
wrote divination to make people become doers.
yes, that's what I like to do. I like to approach things like my approach to it is kind of like a scientist.
Mm,
So, like when I make my sleep tapes and stuff, like I'll write down stuff like, okay, even if it'll be every day or every few days, I'll document certain things, certain synchronicities, and I'll do it for at least 30 days. And when I get to 30 days, it's like, okay, let me go 2 or 3 months because I'm already seeing stuff. I
mhm.
created a very, very powerful formula, but just like coming through like a scientist like that, like really, really like just like you said, do it for 3 to 6 months and take note.
Right.
You
Just
gotta have that
imagine,
consistency.
just imagine you have a pair of socks. If everyone you know wear those socks and you try them on, it's not gonna fit that good. So if you have a book of magic or a book of rituals or whatever you're doing, and if everybody's doing it, not everyone is giving thanks or paying homage to the source from which that magic has come from, and it's going to deplete that energy. But if you create your own magic and you do your own thing, no one else is using it, I assure you, it'll work better than anything you can read out there.
Mm, okay, I think
So,
we
so create your own stuff, family.
create your own stuff. Come on, yeah, right. That's
Yeah.
that creative spirit. Let's get
You're more
into it.
powerful than you know. You're more powerful than you know, and your ignorance doesn't matter. Start Start acting powerful. Start talking powerful. Start walking around powerful. And watch what happens. Stop cursing. We're better than that. Start using astute vernacular and watch more positive things happen to you.
Mm. Well, guys, on this note, we got some gems throughout. It's one of those, it was a slow, then built all the way up, to the. So I like that. I like kind of when the ball rolls slow and then it gets really going all the
Mm-hmm.
way through. So
Yes,
this was a
sir.
good, this was a good one, y'all. Like he said, he's got his book Divination, and you know, it, go
Got eight,
so.
got 8 books out there. I got The Enlightened Taught. It's a book of metaphysical spiritual poems. My second best-selling book was called Poverty Consciousness. My third book was Wealth Consciousness. My fourth book was Dissolving Your Limitations. My fifth book was Consciousness Equals Choice. My sixth book was Seeds of Time.
Yep,
My
I
seventh
remember
book
that.
is Seeds of Time, Volume 2. And my eighth book is Divination. I got another book coming out in about 3 months. It's called The Book of Gods. And I'm breaking down all the gods from around the world. And
Okay,
what I'm finding is,
definitely gonna have to cop that one.
it's going to be about 500 pages.
Mm,
It's heavy. It's heavy. I'm gonna just leave it right there. That'll be out probably June.
okay.
Once you start doing about 3 books a year going forward, I'm not waiting on humans to catch up to me. I was like, I'm gonna just do 1 book a year, man. I'm gonna just do 3, 4, 5 books a year going forward because I got them in me. I'm always right. I'm always creating. I'm not saving it. I'm just giving it to the world. I'm not charging a lot of money because money means nothing. I'd rather add light to this world.
Mm, most definitely. Well, guys,
Winning.
this is definitely your time to shine, your time to win. I just wanted to come on and bring just something different to the channel. This is a practice I have been employing in my life, so I want to just talk about what I was doing as well, and kind of bring on someone who is like, has a lot of knowledge on that subject. You know, so there y'all go. And like I said, I don't have any other questions, but this was a good one, Chris. Thank you for coming through. It's like you told me, like you said, you don't really get back to a lot of people on that because you said you were done, for over a year. So, hey, who knows? I was like, let me check it out. Let me see.
Yeah. And one thing about me, when someone comes to me and they have light, it's not me thinking. It's a feeling saying, hey, reach back out to this brother. All the other people delete, 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 delete. Reach out to this brother. And that's how we started. Simple as that. Winning.
Thank you guys for everybody who showed up. Gratitude to all y'all. Uh,
Gratitude.
if you need to hit the playback, hit the playback. Hit the Etsy shop, guys. All the I got all the tools there. But most
Mhm.
definitely, thank you. I will see you. I will see you guys. I'll see you, Chris. Hey, thank you.
Peace and love, family.
Peace.
Winning.